So this is one of those instances when I wasn't going to make a video, but now I am making a video. And it's mainly because I let my subconscious, I guess, dupe me. It duped me. I duped myself. I was incredibly stupid to walk into a trap that, if I'd actually thought about it, I would have realised you're walking into a trap. You're going to dupe yourself. I am a dupe. I duped. So, to go into details, obviously, drew my new rune yesterday. Friday is the day I look it up. And I'm kind of still on track for that. Kind of. Except I let myself be duped by myself. Now, other than the name of the rune, I have a strong suspicion what the rune is. But that's fine. That has been fine because I'm still set in my pattern for my runic journey to look it up tomorrow. But this is where the duping comes in. So that's quite an inspirational day, to be fair, on the Asatra UK patrons group, which I moderate. Put up a few polls today, one of which was really good for moving forward ideas for the patrons of Asatra UK. The other one was more of a how about this as an idea type thing, which people aren't really going for, which is fine in itself. It was a poll to gauge people's opinions. Now, with the work I've been doing on my runic journey, especially the last couple of weeks, I've gotten a lot more into bind runes and working with runes and how to work them and all the words that Odin himself says about them in the Havamal. So, on my Facebook feed, a friend of mine through Asatra UK had commented on someone's request for advice about a bind rune. So, hi Jules, if you actually watch this. It's not your fault. I'm not. I could quite casually sort of say, I can't believe I let myself be duped. It's not Jules' fault. It's my own fault. I walked into what I should have known was a trap, really. So Jules had commented to this person asking about their bind rune, if it was okay. The perfectly acceptable natural response of it is your bind rune, how you do it is what matters, pretty much by definition the main thing. You'll always get other people going, that's not how you do it, or do it like this, or blah blah blah. And this is where I let myself down, because I liked that comment. I liked Jules's comment because my line of thinking, how you work a bind rune is your business. And what I wanted, I had to satisfy a need to see, I don't know, the type of people that gatekeep these kind of things, saying that's not how you do it, or you should be doing it this way or that way, blah blah blah. Or, historically, there's no such thing, or this is a modern. I went into the comment section, had a read through some of the comments, and unfortunately, or inevitably, there were in the comments section photos of all the runes together. So there's a couple of photos with all the runes and their names. Now, quick side story. I've always been pretty good with word searches. I don't know why. It's just one of those things. Terrible at crosswords. Word searches. Boom, home in on the words. So, as you can probably guess, I was like, don't look at the runes. I looked at the runes. I looked at the photo of runes and focused in on my rune for this week. And I was like, oh, what have you done? Why were you so stupid? Yeah, it's that sort of, there we go. Left behind the Facebook conversation thread. Admonished myself, and then sort of like, well, I had a bit of time having driven home from work to want to make this video and to analyze, self-analyze, criticize what I've done. I am only to blame for this. Interestingly, it was Jules who led me to temptation. It's not Jules's fault, it's my fault. In reflecting on this, leads me to a couple of other lines of thinking as well, because you can just go, well, it's just about the rune. This isn't just about the rune. This is my inquisitiveness betraying my thought processes or the patterns I've established on my runic journey. And for a little while now, having taken an oath at Grimnir's Moot to get to know Frigg better, I've also found myself almost feeling a little bit guilty for feeling like I've sidelined Odin a bit. Now, externally, people like my wife Jade might go, well, that's ridiculous because you're very focused on Odin, and I've been kind of saying that to myself, or I'm not forsaking you, still sort of closest to my heart, etc. But it's been sort of, I suppose, a doubt almost growing a little bit louder. And today was another day in particular where I've sort of been being a champion for Frigg to some extent, even though I know Frigg doesn't need a champion. She's a very noble goddess, in my opinion. She doesn't seek glory. She's quite happy to be in the shadows. But the reflection part of this is, I haven't really felt a disconnect with Odin. But in sort of my inevitable inquisitiveness, I've felt that sort of reconnection in some ways. It's not really reconnection. It's just that sort of, there's your inner Odin, sort of your empathy towards Odin's just sort of getting a little pat on the back, even in your, I don't know, you allowing you to dupe yourself. And I suppose it's not without some critique that perhaps that is myself, my subconscious, giving me a little nudge to say, you're still doing okay, you're still Odin-centric. That's a phrase. As I say, it's not anything of Odin contacting me or connecting to me. It's more a case of me sort of, I'm not letting Odin down or betraying Odin by being less focused on Odin. In fact, I'd say it's quite the opposite. It's that sort of, I'm playing with my own rules, because Friday is the day I look up the rune, and I let my inquisitiveness blindside me a little bit. And I don't know, it's thoughts and processes, and it's just that sort of, I know, a little bit of acknowledgement of your own fallibilities. That's what's happened today, and even sort of your subconscious can help teach you things that you already know, and yet that is the path, and that is where the path has been today. It's just sort of like a, I suppose, a mental check on yourself. Sort of a, look, it's okay. Anyway, I will sort of focus a little bit more tomorrow on my normal Friday Freaks Day video, but I had to do this because, well, I'm quite enjoying saying I duped myself. Dupe. If you've watched this, thank you. To the end, that is. Well done. And sticky stars for you. And, sorry. See you tomorrow. Cheers for watching this. Goodbye.